guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carla. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you stick around and like and subscribe so we can get it going. And now we're gonna get it going, guys. So this video is well overdue. I know I've been saying we were gonna come out with a fish tank video, and then I never came out with a fish tank video because originally I was gonna do this video with David, but he's been super busy and I just want to get this out for you guys. So I got all the information from him because he's a fish master, and I'm just gonna go through some questions today. I'm sure you know from the title of this video, this is 8 things to know before starting your fish tank, or if you want to get a fish tank, 8 things to know before you do that. So before we got a fish tank, I was like complete beginner. Like I had never had a fish before. I was kind of like, I have no idea how to even take care of a fish. Like you put it in water and that's it, right? I don't know. You put a little SpongeBob, a little house in there with some little rocks and you good. No, definitely not. So we've learned a lot from the journey here. So I want to share these tips with you. If you are a total beginner like I was, this is probably very general and beginner information. But if you already have a tank, then this video is probably too basic for you. So I mean, if you want to stick around, then stick around. Of course, we welcome you into this video. But I might do another video later on of a little bit more advanced fish tank keeping. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. So the way we got into fish keeping is that my friend actually had won a goldfish at a carnival, and she apparently kept it alive very well, and she was like, oh, these little carnival goldfish never last really, so I'll just like keep it until, I don't know, it dies, right? And so she took such good care of it that the thing never died. And she had to move across the country to another state and wasn't able to take her fish. So she was like, oh, hey Carla, you know, I know you like animals. Would you like to take my fish? And I was like, yeah, I'll take your fish. We good. Yeah, it'll be fine. You already have a tank for it. Yeah, it's not so hard. Now we have 5 fish tanks. 1, 2, 3, no, 4 fish tanks. We have 4 fish tanks now, thanks to that little goldfish. And so, thank you, Talia, for starting this trend in my house. But anyway, guys, so the first question that I have is, what size tank should you get? And this depends on a lot of things. So it depends firstly on the kind of fish that you are going to have. So normally if you go to like a fish store, you will see that on the tank itself where they have all the fish, it'll say like goldfish needs 30 gallons per fish. Or if you're getting like guppies, then it'll be like 1 school of guppies for like 10 gallons or something like that. So you just gotta be mindful of the fish that you're going to get and how much space they actually need, and then from there you can kind of choose what size tank you're gonna have and how many fish you're gonna put in it. But we'll get a little bit more into that in a little bit. Also consider the space that you have in your house. So don't get like a giant fish that's gonna grow to like a foot if you are in a 1-bedroom apartment. Unless you have that kind of space, then, you know, get rid of your couch, put the fish tank there, you good. So next question is going to be, how many fish can I put in the tank? So that depends on the kind of tank and the kind or the size of the tank that you have. So let's say like a fish tank like this, which is a 30-gallon tank, is going to be able to hold a good amount of fish that need, I would say, like at least 5 to 10 gallons of water. So right now in here we have, I believe, 5 neon tetras, 5 zebra tetras, and like 5 guppies with 1 centerpiece fish, which is our gourami. This fish tank can hold quite a lot without being overcrowded. We just realized actually that our guppies had babies again, And so we might have to restock this tank and kind of distribute everybody between the tanks again, unless some of the bigger fish in here eat the baby guppies. You know, circle of life. But don't worry about that too much. Basically, just get fish that are going to do well together, which might take a little bit of research. So just look up the one fish you want to get, and then kind of the supplementary fish around that one fish, and how they would get along, and if they live in the same water, if they are used to the same environments. So that kind of thing. I would say start with one fish that you like, and then kind of research from there, so to make it a little less daunting. But yeah, that's how you would choose how many fish to put in your tank. So next question, what is substrate and how do I pick one? So basically, this is between your own choice and also kind of like the style of your tank. You will definitely need substrate when you start your tank, especially beginner, starter, like they sell like starter kit substrate that has already bacteria built into the sand. And so that bacteria is going to help kickstart your tank so that when you put your fish in there, they don't get like shocked and die from it being so freaking clean. And so your water needs to have bacteria, healthy bacteria. Think of it like a stomach. It needs probiotics, okay? So the fish are gonna have to have enough nutrients in the water and enough bacteria in the water to not have them get sick or anything like that. And the way you do that is by getting substrate that has already pre-built bacteria in it. And you will literally fill your tank with the substrate. So it's usually about an inch that you need of the substrate. So you would see like an inch from the window here, from the glass. And then you'll fill your tank, and then you let it sit for like a week, and then you go get your fish, and then you put your fish in there. So you have to let it build up, because if not, then your fish are more likely to die. They're more likely to not do well, and you're gonna waste your money on all the fish that you're gonna get. So don't do that. Get the substrate that has bacteria, and at least wait 3 days with the water clean, full. Your tank is already stocked. You have your plants in there, you have your decorations in there, you have everything in there that's gonna be in there, and just the only thing missing is your fish. So at least wait like 3 days. Next question. What is the proper way to clean the tank? So this is something that I didn't really know. I thought you had to like empty, you know, like the little fish bowls that you have, you just
like empty the water. You take the fish out of the water, you put it in a little container, you clean the tank, you dump all the water out, clean all the stuff, and then put new water in, and then you put your fish back. No.
Do not do this. This is not how you do it. So you need to be able to change the water in your fish tank by at least 25% every like week to 2 weeks, depending on the kind of filter that you have and depending on the size of your tank. So this tank, really, we only change the water like, I would say every 2 weeks. We change about this much of it, like 25% of the water. So we sift it out with the hose, which I'm going to insert the clip here, and then we will pour new water in. Then you just condition the water with some chlorine cleaner, which I'm also going to show you guys later because I don't have it here. Just AquaSafe chlorine water conditioner is what it's called. So depending on the size of the tank, you just take a little bit. It tells you on the bottle how much depending on the gallons of your tank, and you just pour it in there. That's it. So that'll just take off all the harshness of the water from the one that you're pouring in from the sink, and just make it more stable for the fish. So that's how you clean your tank. You do not use soap. Don't use soap on anything that is going into your tank. Do not use soap on anything at all, okay? Do not do it. It will leave residue and it will kill your fish.
Don't do it. Next question.
What kind of filter do you need? So this goes hand in hand with the size of your tank. So if you have a 30-gallon tank, you will need to get a filter that can clean a 30-gallon tank. And I'm going to debunk a misconception that we get all the time at work from people that call in that have fish tanks that don't really know what they're doing too much. And they always say, oh,
you know, the filter didn't work, like it's been 2 weeks and my tank is still dirty.
Yes, your filter is not going to clean your tank. The filter is to clean the water in the tank so that it is breathable for the fish and that there's not little tiny particles going around like in the water. So it will clean most of the water, but it's not going to scrub your tank and keep it from getting algae. So if you're looking to not have algae, a filter is not going to do that for you. It's just going to keep the water like clear and debris free. Maybe not clear, debris free, okay? It's also going to provide water movement for your fish, which is great for some of them, especially like tropical fish like this, like a light flow. If you have obviously ocean fish, that's a whole nother story that I don't know anything about, and I'm pretty sure that they need more of a water current. But so yeah, anyway, the filter that you get needs to be able to clean the size of the tank that you have. And it really doesn't matter if it's quiet, if it's not quiet, if it's carbon or not carbon. Like honestly, as long as it does the job, that'll be fine. It'll also tell you on the filter how often you need to change the cartridges and where to find the cartridges. So that's that. I would recommend, if you're a super beginner, just get a tank that already has a built-in filter, and all you have to do is buy the cartridges, because that's super easy. And that's what we did with our beta. We just got a tank from Amazon that already had a filter in it, and I will link it down below because it's actually a really nice tank and it's worked really well. We've had it for over 2 years now, over a year now actually, over a year. So recommend. Next, what are some important tools to have? So some important tools to have are definitely going to be a sifting hose. So in order to get your water out of your tank, obviously we're not carrying this whole thing to the sink because it's, I'm sure, like at least 300 pounds. And so we will use a hose with a bucket, and because our sink is kind of really far, so we need to get a longer hose. But we use a hose with a bucket to take the water out, and then to fill the water back up, we just literally use like a watering can for like plants, or if we can, we used to use the hose from outside because we have a window right next to one of our tanks, so we just use the hose and put it in the tank and fill that up. So figure out how you're going to be able to change the water in your tank. Normally you'll get a sifting hose thing and that'll solve all your problems. The next tools you're going to need to have is some way to clean the glass. So either get really great snails that clean the glass for you, or get this little tool that I'm going to insert a clip of right here that literally has a magnet that you just put inside the water, and you can scrub the glass on any side of the glass with that little magnet, and if it does fall off, then it just floats up to the top so you don't have to reach in there and disturb your fish. So that thing is really awesome. We use it almost every week, like we use it all the time. So I highly recommend it. The next tool you're gonna need, not necessarily need, but if you really wanted to get into aquascaping, which is what they call this kind of tank, where you are trying to recreate like the natural environment of the fish in the tank, as opposed to like just putting like a pirate ship or like little colorful rocks at the bottom and stuff like that. If you're trying to get into aquascaping, there's a huge community on YouTube that does aquascaping, so just type in aquascape on YouTube and you will see there is some great content on there. So this is what we did with this tank. We did aquascape it from scratch. We grew the grass, we grew everything in this tank basically from scratch. Like the grass we grew from seeds. So definitely a hard thing to do, but this was already our 4th tank, so we had a little bit more experience. So if you want to get into anything like that, then I would say you will need a kit to be able to reach in there and kind of trim the plants and trim the stuff that's in there. I usually use this kind of thing to scoop up all of the, what is this thing called? The duckweed at the top. So sometimes it gets really dense and the light won't come through, so you really want the light to come through to be able to sustain your plants and your fish. So sometimes you need to scoop it out, so I just use this and scoop it out. Also, you are going to need like a long tongue so that you don't have to dunk your arm every time into the fish tank. If you just need to grab something that fell, or like a leaf that is loose, or like something, dead fish, you know, unfortunate, but sometimes it happens. You will need a long set of tongs like this. And this is also a kit from Amazon. It came all together in this little bag, so it's really useful. We use this as well to kind of move the plants around sometimes and move the duckweed as well. And it comes with a set of plant scissors. So they're like curved scissors to be able to trim the grass and all of the plants in there as well. Literally aquascaping. Other than that, you will need, of course, a fish net to be able to get your fish out of the tank whenever you need. Sometimes you do need to transport your fish to another tank, or maybe you need to move them because your tank needs deep cleaning. So we have deep cleaned our goldfish tank a couple of times now, because we actually redid the entire tank. Like when we first had it, we had like a pirate ship in there and like all these things, and we wanted to change all of the substrate and make it more natural for the fish. So we literally had to empty the entire tank and put Bruce, our goldfish, in a little container. So we had to get him out. So you never know when you're gonna need a net, so definitely get a net for your tank so that you can move your fish around if you need to. Next question. Do I need a water heater, and how to know what temperature the water should be? So this goes hand in hand with the kind of fish that you have. So again, when you go to the fish store and get your fish, just make sure that you look at what kind of fish it is and what kind of water temperature it has. So I know betas are well known for liking like warm waters, and I want to say that warm water to you is not warm water to your beta. So just because you run the tap on warm water, that is hot water to your beta. Okay, do not put warm tap water into your tank. You will kill your beta, you will burn them. Okay, so definitely just put cold water or just regular tap water in your tank, and then get a heater for your tank that will heat to the specific temperature that your beta needs. So don't just think that you can pour hot water in there or warm water in there, because it'll be way too hot. So basically you will know based on what kind of fish you have. So all of the fish in here kind of like the same temperature, and some of them might be a little bit more comfortable in a warmer water, but they are able to survive and feel okay with just regular tap water in here. We don't have a heater in here. So all of these fish are doing very well with no heater. As opposed to the beta tank that has a heater in it, just to keep it very comfortable for the beta in there. We also have 2 guppies in there with her, and they do fine in that tank as well. So the guppies are very versatile. They can either do like cold water. We have guppies in the goldfish tank, we have guppies in this tank, and we have guppies in the beta tank. So guppies can pretty much live in anything at this point, is what I'm realizing, because they have had babies in every single tank. So if you are a beginner, probably don't get a guppy, because you will end up with like 20 fish if you get 2. So definitely more advanced of a fish, I would say. But anyway, that's how you would find out if you need a thermometer or a water heater. Next question. Put multiple species together. Yes, you can, as we have done in this tank and in all the other tanks. So we do have the goldfish. That's echo. We do have the goldfish with 4 guppies in there, And we originally had him in there with little corridoras at the bottom, but the little bottom feeders, but he killed them all. Like, he is a murderer. This fish is a criminal. But we love him, and so we tried to put the guppies in there because honestly our guppy tank was overstocked and we needed to move them. And so we're like, well, if they live, they live. If they don't, they don't. So we put them in there, and they're actually way too fast for Bruce to be able to catch them. So they are doing great in that tank, and now he has some friends. So they are in there with him. I wouldn't recommend to do that. Goldfish usually don't get along with that many other fish, but luckily ours is just like, he can't be bothered. So also we have guppies with the beta. We have guppies, tetras, and gouramis in this tank, and as long as they're all like docile fish, you should be fine. I wouldn't recommend putting any fish with betas. Definitely do your research and make sure that the beta that you're getting, it would also say on the label on the container how aggressive they are. We have a female beta that was labeled as semi-aggressive, and we tested her with first shrimp and snails to see what she would do, and she didn't really care about them. So then we tried just putting in there another female guppy, and she honestly didn't care. So that's how we have transitioned into putting a little bit more into that tank. But normally betas, of course, are known for not being very nice to other fish. So just be careful if you get a beta. Alright guys, so that is the end of this video. If you guys have any questions or are interested in learning more about our fish tanks or about fish tanks in general, definitely leave some questions down below and I will do a more detailed video. If you want to learn more about goldfish, which are like, I guess, the most popular fish that people get, definitely leave some questions down below and I can do a video on just keeping goldfish because they're a whole nother deal of fish, and how to keep them healthy and not dying. From carnival fish to Bruce. You know, he's about this big now. Like, he needs a bigger tank. He's in a 20-gallon tank right now, but he definitely needs at least a 30-gallon. So definitely we'll do a video on that. If you want to learn more about betas, definitely leave me some questions. I will do my best to do a video on the beta as well. But other than that, guys, thank you so much. I hope to see you guys on my next one. Bye.